Let me say something. This statement is evil, wicked, and malicious. And I just want to categorically deny that I ever threatened to shoot Mr. Astafan or anybody of the Freedom Party. Let me tell you that Mr. Astafan has been the one who has been harassing me each time he meets me on the road, telling me that I am corrupt like Mr. Skerrit because I have been covering up for Mr. Skerrit. Each time he meets me, wherever he meets me. And I am prepared to give you 3 examples. Once he met me at RNC Auto having lunch. He walked up to me and tell me why I am not reporting on the Susan Oldie matter because Mr. Skerrit has involved in some corrupt activities, and as Director of Audit, I need to report on this. I left the area for Mr. Michael Astafan. A second time, Mr. Michael Astafan met me at Breezy Mart. I was shopping, and in a loud voice, he said, Director of Audit, you're not reporting on the matters I tell you about Mr. Skerrit. Mr. Skerrit is corrupt. It seems you corrupt also like Mr. Skerrit. I left. I just put down my basket. I left and I took my vehicle and I went. I didn't tell Mr. Michael Astafan anything. A couple Saturdays ago, I went to the funeral of Charles, that teacher at the college in Wesley. The church was filled to capacity. My wife was inside. I was standing outside. Mr. Michael Astafan walked up to my ears and started whispering, oh, you're still not reporting. What happened to the money or that the Venezuelans had on the sea? Mr. Skerrit has it as given to people in his red clinic. Why are you not reporting on that? You corrupt like Mr. Skerrit. Brother man, I had to leave the area and go to the back of the church to avoid Mr. Michael Astafan. On Wednesday night, I was listening to the program, yes, and I hear Mr. Michael Astafan launch a tirade on the Director of Audit, saying that the Director of Audit is corrupt to the core because he is not reporting on Mr. Skerrit. So that night I met Mr. Michael Astafan, Mr. Johnson Boston, and Mr. Sabroach close to the tobacco factory. So I did approach Mr. Michael Astafan and tell him, partner, why don't you give me a break? You meet me on the road, you harass me. You go on the radio, you try to tarnish my character. Why don't you give me a break? Mr. Johnson Boston shouted to me, if you don't like what he said, pull your gun and shoot him. I ignored Mr. Johnson Boston and I continued talking to Mr. Michael Astafan. Mr. Johnson Boston again said to me, if you do not like what you say, Mr. Astafan said, just pull your gun and shoot him. All I did when I heard this, I said, Mr. Michael Astafan, if you do not stop harassing me, I will deal with you. And I took my vehicle and I left. I have never told Mr. Astafan that I will shoot him. Never. I do not have a problem with Mr. Boston. I do not have a problem with Mr. Sabroach. So there was no reason for me to confront Mr. Sabroach or Mr. Boston. No reason at all. Clearly political. I am being harassed and being provoked by Mr. Michael Astafan. Each time he sees me on the road, wherever he meets me, he calls me corrupt and he said I am covering for Mr. Skerrit. So his action is clear. This is clearly politically motivated. Never. It is Mr. Boston who said I should pull my gun and shoot Mr. because I do not like what Mr. Michael Astafan said. I never told him anything about shooting.